All right, we are back at you with another live edition of Talking with Friends podcast. It's been a couple weeks since we've been able to be on the air, but we're excited to be back today. Today might be a little shorter version of what we're used to having, but we wanted to kind of get back in the swing of things, talk about what's going on. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff coming up. It's been a busy 2 weeks, as you might can imagine. And I am Sports Information Director, and alongside me is my assistant SID, Morgyn Raspberry, who is back from Florida. I mean, freshly back today. Just now got off the plane like 2-3 hours ago.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 3 hours ago.
3 hours ago. You texted me, I think it was 10, I think it was 9, it was almost 10 o'clock.
It was almost 10,
when you texted me that you landed.
Yeah.
And so it's been a little about 4 hours now, actually. But
yeah.
Just now got off the plane today. She's was a little bit jet lagged, or whatever you want to call it, from the flight.
Well, because think about it this way, okay, so we already get messed up because we had the spring forward time changed here, right? Well, I had a spring forward whenever I went to Florida.
There you go.
Because in Orlando, the time change is an hour ahead of here. So I'm very out of it. So when I say that I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning Florida time, that's like 2 o'clock in the morning here. So it's been a very long and interesting morning so far.
Yeah, it has been. And in the last 2 weeks, we hosted the NAI tournament, men's and women's opening round tournament last weekend. We both was really involved in that.
Which was really, really awesome.
It was good. It was good. Went really, really well.
Our conference is doing pretty good.
Conference done very well. We had 2 teams from the conference. Actually, 3 teams from the conference went opening rounds. Bethel and Sterling College women, and then Oklahoma Wesleyan men. All 3 won their opening round bracket, advanced to the final 16. And Bethel was tripped up yesterday, and so was Sterling women.
Oh,
but
really?
But they still made the final 16. And so really good representation for our conference. Bethel was here. Bethel guys is here. And they beat Voorhees, North Carolina, the first game, and then knocked off the top seed Northwestern Iowa the second game. And so, very good representation from the KCAC, this whole NAI tournament, especially here. But we enjoyed hosting it. It went really smooth as you could hope for. And I did stats for it. Of course, Morgyn, you spotted for me the whole time. All 8 games. We did it. It was a lot of fun. It really was. I enjoyed it.
It was like a long 2 days. However, it was a fun 2 days.
Yeah, it was a fun experience for us.
It was a really good experience, and we got some cool little pullovers to go along with it. You know?
I may have liked it more than you did, though. What do you think?
I was just tired, I think. I was
maybe.
Okay. But I also was trying to finish up my research paper. Was trying to do all these different things. So
did you get it? Okay. You did get it done, though, right?
I did get it done, though, and everything was good. I won't get my grade until school starts back up next week, but that's fine. I'm cool with it.
We got NAI pullovers. We got Jimmy John's and Chick-fil-A through the weekend.
Every single day.
Yep.
Every single game, basically.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun, though. I enjoyed it. The week before that, we hosted our Friends Invitational softball tournament.
Yes.
And, of course, you were really involved doing stats in that. I was kind of patrolling all 6 fields. We had all 6 fields going, but the majority of the time.
Yeah.
And it was a lot. That went really. We got really good positive feedback on the NAI tournament and the softball tournament that I read, that I got personal emails from. Those 2 events went really, really smooth. The funny thing is on your field, somehow things just were stalled, it seemed like, for both days. I think your field got us behind both days.
It was always my field for both days. I was like, what on earth is up with my field? Because my first game, both days, always went over. And twice did I go into a tiebreaker on the second day. Yeah, I had 2 tiebreaker games.
Yep.
And I was like, what on earth is going on? And what stinks even more is that my very first game of the whole entire time, they almost went into a tiebreaker, and then it ended up being a run rule in the very last inning. I was like, you're joking. Like, why?
Yeah.
So now we're 2 hours behind.
It was almost comical, though, at some point. Because it was just like, but you got a reprieve because the final 6 o'clock game, which would have started at least 8, maybe 8:30.
Oh, yeah.
It got canceled, so you did get a reprieve. It was like God saying she has suffered enough.
We were literally probably going to be there until almost midnight.
Yep.
just because of my field.
Yep.
Like, and what stinks is that, like, I felt bad because, like, my field, like, impacted, like, 2 other fields. However, they weren't, like, as behind as I was. So that was good. And I ended up still not being the last game played. So I was happy about that. For both days, as far behind as my field was,
Yep.
I was never the last field. And I would have been if it wasn't for York and Hastings canceling. You know, it was like, yes, thank you.
You if anyone earned that break, it was you that day. I'm going to be the first to admit it. If anybody earned that reprieve, it was you and your field, because you had every time I walked by your field, it was always the one that was behind. It was always the one that was running late.
Well,
and
it was
just the way it went.
And then we had the one time, like, for 3 games in a row, I had to have a new game started because they didn't have, like, the home and visitor side correct. And I was like, God dang it.
And that happened. And the funny thing is, we set that up before the tournament because that way we could actually get the games into the system. Because if we didn't do that, we would have had to wait until the coin flip, like just a few minutes before the game.
Yeah.
So what we did was, we had Scott Moser and I, we said, okay, the home side is going to be the left side of the bracket is going to be the home team on the left side of the bracket. And that worked out well for only 3 times during the entire weekend that they divvy from that. All 3 times was on your field.
Yes.
That's it. The other 5 fields was perfect. 3 times it happened, all 3 times was your field.
Man, I will say that was the only time that I had a major about breakdown because I didn't know what to do, and I tried to stay so calm, but I was like calling you like 3 different times, like, hey, get over here, get over here, get over here. I don't know what to do. They messed up. I don't know. And you're like, what's going on? I was like, just come here.
Yeah. You were, the first time you called, you were panicking because you didn't know what. It was totally different. You were nervous. I come over there quickly as I could. I got there pretty quick. We got it fixed.
Yeah, we got it fixed pretty quick.
And
pretty fast.
The funny thing is, though, after that, you become, I don't know, you got calmer because you kind of just almost expected it a little bit.
Yep.
Well, like the second time, well, they did it again.
Yep.
Well, they did it again.
Hey.
Third time, they did it again.
I think I yelled at you from another field, too. I was like, hey, they did it again.
Yep. But I got home. It was so funny. I looked at my phone. I'm like, yep. You can definitely tell we've hosted a 6-field tournament for 2 days because my phone was Morgyn Raspberry, Melissa Youngke, Scott Cox, Hallie, Morgyn Raspberry, Melissa Youngke. My entire, it was like, I don't know, back to back, everybody. And that's not counting the text. I got the other 2 fields. They actually didn't call, they just text me. Yeah. So I had calls and texts lined up for probably 10 days worth of calls and texts for just this softball tournament.
And what's even
that was funny. I thought it was funny.
I knew not to text you because I always knew to automatically call you. But if I did text you, it was like, hey, if you're walking around, can you, like, bring me a Jimmy John sandwich?
Yeah, and I did, didn't I?
And you did. He did. He brought me sandwiches. He brought me chips. He brought me a Dr.
jalapeno
Pepper.
Chips.
Yes, my jalapeno chips. He even brought me a Dr. Pepper without me asking for a Dr. Pepper once, and that was really nice because he knows I love Dr. Pepper just like him.
Yep, I do. No.
But that was still a really fun tournament. It might have been stressful, but it was still really fun.
It was, but it went smooth, and we got good feedback from it. It was the first time. I know it was the first time, and we really improved. It was the first time since I've been here, at least, and maybe probably for the tournament, because we didn't even have to provide stats till I got to the first year I got here. Mm-hmm. But we had live stats on every single field and a live stream on our field the entire 2 days.
Yes.
And that's never happened before, either because of coverage or internet connection or whatever. But
we're making history.
we provided live stats on our field, and we got stats out really quick. I was proud of what we were able to do, and how we shown our university through the whole, so many teams in it. I was very pleased with how it went, and very pleased last weekend. And it don't happen without you and others' hard work. You guys really showed out for us. Much appreciated. You done outstanding.
Well, thank you. It was a very busy 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, and that's a big reason why this is our first podcast in 3 weeks.
Yes.
I don't think we missed a week at all, hardly, before that. But now we've missed 2 in a row because things are just happening all at once. But we're back today, and next week we're going to have our regular version of Talking with Friends. It'll be our regular. We'll have guests and everything. But today we're still going to have some fun. We wanted to get back on the air and just kind of give everybody an update on what's been going on the past couple of weeks and what's coming up now. And tomorrow, back on campus, home events, volleyball and men's and women's soccer home. Volleyball Senior Day tomorrow. Festivities start for that at 11:30. And matches 1, 3, and 5 tri-match. Tabor is here, as is St. Mary, for the volleyball tri-match tomorrow.
I thought we were playing Tabor a different time. I don't really remember
Tabor's
anymore.
here. Tabor's here tomorrow.
I've been losing track of so much.
Yep.
It's insane.
Tabor's here tomorrow, as is St. Mary.
Yeah.
And men's and women's soccer is hosting Sterling College tomorrow. Men's soccer senior day is also tomorrow. So we got volleyball senior day. Women's soccer's already did theirs. We got volleyball, men's soccer. Men's soccer kicks off at 3:30. The women kick off at 6. And they'll all be here on campus. So.
All good things. All good things.
Yep. We're still going.
Yep.
Sterling men's soccer is very good as well. So that's going to be an interesting game for sure. Our men's been rolling, won 9 out of their last 10, and 9-3 on the year. They started out 1-2. They've been rolling since. So it's going to be 2 fun games, and then volleyball, of course, as well. 1, 3, and 5 for their tri-match. So, but yeah, Sterling is 6-1-1 in the conference, 8-1-1 overall. Our guys are 7-3 in the conference and 9-3 overall.
Wow.
So, good games coming up. But women and men tomorrow, 3:36, and then volleyball 1, 3, and 5, senior day volleyball, and men's soccer senior day.
Yes.
So that's where we're at on that. So you just got back from Disney, as I said. You kind of previewed the trip for a couple of our episodes of what he's going to do. So now you get a chance to tell us. I know you're a little jet lagged, I think you're feeling better than what you did earlier.
Yeah.
But just kind of take some time to get your body back adjusted to being on ground. But so how did it go? How did it go? Some of the things you did. You talked about some of the things you were going to do. Did you do all that you planned to do, or no?
So we actually did do pretty much everything that we were already planning to do. I mean, whenever we did get to Magic Kingdom, we weren't able to ride, I think, 2 of the rides that I really badly wanted to ride. And that's just because they were ridiculously long wait times. Like, almost all day, they were 90 minutes or over for wait time. And I'm like, oh, my stars, sorry. I've seen these 2 way too many times. I'm not going to wait 90 minutes for it, But we still had a really, really great time. And I was able to see my grandma. It wasn't when we were supposed to meet, but it was still very nice. She definitely surprised me because I didn't know she was coming with my aunt. So I got to hang out with my family for a little bit, which was really awesome because I don't get to see them very often. We did go over to Universal Studios, though, and that was a lot of fun. I think I had more fun at Universal this time around than the first time I'd ever gone. It did help that I didn't ride the Incredible Hulk ride and get a concussion right off the bat. That helped.
For sure, yeah.
But we had so much fun, and of course my sister and her boyfriend, they definitely made fun of me because in order to get into the park, you had to have your driver's license or just some sort of ID. And I forgot mine at home. I forgot mine at the apartment. I was like, no, I don't have that. And he was like, are you serious? So the people were super, super nice about it. They were like, okay, well, since he's a team member and we were using his comp tickets for it to get in, they were super calm. They were super chill about it. They were like, okay, just as long as you show them your ID or something, and obviously you're a team member, you're fine. Everything's cool. You can go inside. I was like, yeah, yes. Yeah. So that was a really funny hiccup that ended up happening. But we rode almost every single ride that we wanted to, except for one. But that's just because, again, ridiculously. That's what I meant to say, and I don't know where I was going with that. But extremely long and ridiculous wait times. And the thing with Universal is that, like, it's not like Disney, which right now Disney does not have this at the moment due to COVID restrictions. But, like, it's Universal has what's called an express pass. You actually have to pay for it, and it's pretty expensive, but because my sister's boyfriend works there, he got him for pretty cheap. Like, actually really cheap. Like, they're over $100 each, and he only got them for $75 total. Like, it was awesome. But for this particular ride, because it's so new, there was no express pass for it. There was no anything. It was all standby. And that's just because that Universal can do that, and they wanted to do that, so they did. You know, it's like almost only a year old, I think. So, and it's the Hagrid ride. It's pretty cool. I've heard it's really awesome, but yeah, I didn't want to wait that long. It's like, yeah, no, we can ride around. However, I did get to ride a brand new ride that I've never even knew was at Universal, which was the E.T. ride. It's just, it wasn't like a roller coaster or anything. It was very much like you're in this like 4-seater bike looking thing, whatever, and you're flying in a tram type thing, like as if you're flying in a bike, like and ET's in the front basket there, you know, and you're going home. It was really cool though. So that was a brand new one that I'd never ridden. Another one too that I've never ridden and never really thought to ride was the Cat in the Hat ride.
That sounds cool.
I mean, it was literally just like the storybook. Like, you're just going through the story and stuff like that. So it was interesting. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely a kiddie ride. But I'm like, okay, it's a good filler ride if you're really bored but you like Dr. Seuss as much as I do. Love Dr. Seuss. Yeah, Dr. Seuss all the way. But so that one was really, really, really cool to me. I mean, it was boring because yes, it was a little kid ride. However, it was a really fun and interesting thing for me to see because I'd never seen it before. So I was like, oh, cool, let's do it, right? Fun times. And then we went on another 3D roller coaster in Harry Potter World. It was like escaping the bank, and that was really fun too. And we had to run from Bellatrix and Voldemort and the dragon and the bank. You know, it was fun though. It was so cool. There were so many fun and interesting things. And right now, because it's the month of Mardi Gras, I believe, yes, and like Mardi Gras was earlier this month, Universal has been doing like a month-long thing of just Mardi Gras celebrations. And because there's no parades at the moment, they just had the parade floats out in the streets, and then people were on top of them, and they were throwing out beads too. So that was really cool and interesting to see. And they had like different food and drinks from around the world as well there that you could get. So that was really cool and interesting to see because I'd never been there at this time. I'd only been to Universal one other time, and it was in like Christmas time, so whole entire different atmosphere, but it was really fun. Super hot. Oh my stars, was it hot. It was like 78 and I was drenching sweat, like just dying. I was like, oh my gosh. And my sister and her boyfriend were like, it feels good outside. What are you talking about? Like, yeah, it's warm because the sun is out, but it's not that bad. I'm like, I am dying. I need inside. I need AC. I want my cold weather back. I'm officially becoming a snowbird.
Yeah, you are.
A Texan becoming a snowbird. You don't really hear that very often.
That's good, though. It's rubbed off on you. That's good.
Yeah, but
that's good.
So that was definitely my Universal trip. And for Disney World, though, we did pretty much everything. And surprisingly, like, even though the parks were completely sold out for this month, basically, because spring breakers, you know, yay. But, like, even for it being sold out, it was so spaced out because there weren't as many people as you would have thought there was going to be. You know, like, it was still and Disney is very, very adamant on, hey, keep your mask on. Hey, stand behind the line, please. Like, they have it all spaced out. I think it's actually over 6 feet, not gonna lie, like maybe a couple inches over, which I don't personally mind because I knew I had to come back here. And so, but they were very, very adamant on it, and not that Universal wasn't, because they were too, but it was ran smoother in a way, like, than you would have thought. Because I was a little nervous, and so was my sister, that it was going to be really kind of packed in a way, because she knew that it was sold out. Or, like, all the tickets were sold out. So we kind of had, like, a little, like, mini heart attack until we got there. And we realized, oh, this really actually, like, we've been there when they've hit, like, legit full-on capacity before for a New Year's Eve once. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, like, they had to legit shut the gates because there were so many people in there. Like, it was insane. This was pre-COVID, definitely pre-COVID. But it was still really, really nice to see everything and to be back in that element. It was just so magical. It really was. Even though you're dying with a mask on, you know, it was so magical, so worth it. I enjoyed every single minute of it. I really did. It was fun. And then we went over to Epcot and we walked around the world, which was awesome, by the way. I love going around the World Showcase. Now that I'm older, it's you seem to appreciate it more now whenever you're older. You know, and they also had right now it's their flower and garden festival. Oh my stars, Mr. Levi. Like, they had the prettiest just things, like statues of plants and flowers. Like, they had the 3 caballeros all made out in flowers and stuff. They had Anna and Elsa and Olaf all out of plants and flowers. And it was just so pretty, so nice. They had Dopey and Snow White even out and about, and they have, like, all these different scenes. They had a Lion King scene that was so super cool, and they had, obviously, Fantasia with Mickey and the Sorcerer's Hat and the brooms. It was just so pretty, and honestly, I would say the Flower and Garden Festival, because I've never, like, fully experienced, this is probably my favorite festival I've ever seen, because it was so pretty, so cool. And I don't know, it made my heart happy to see it all functioning and it all working out. And we met some really, really cool cast members, you know. And it was fun. It was a really, really great trip, and it was so worth it because I did end up getting to see more of my family that I don't get to see very often. And I got to meet my sister's new puppy, who's so cute.
That's worth a trip, probably.
I know,
right?
I was like, shoot, I'll spend $270 just to go visit a puppy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You would probably.
I would probably. Actually, I probably would do that. But it was just so much fun. Such a magical trip all the way around.
That is good. Good information. Good detail of your trip, and it seemed like you was having a good time. And glad you got to go. Glad you're back safely.
Yes.
Most of all. You kept us all updated on where you were at when you were landing. That's good. That's good. Like I asked you to do, you did it. So
I get a little paranoid with it too.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, I made it. We didn't crash. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
You came through, so we're all good. But no, it's a good trip. Glad you got to go, and thanks for filling us in and everything. And I was curious to kind of see how many people would be there this time of year, just because normally, I mean, it is big, but with everything just now starting to open back up, and I don't know how many people would be there, but it sounds like there's quite a bit. So you have to wait for rides.
I was like, there was definitely quite a few people there still, like at all 3 parks, I should say, or both theme parks. We'll say both theme parks. There was still more people than, not necessarily I expected, because I expected more people than the usual right now with COVID-19 happening and blah, 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 blah. But it still wasn't as much as I thought it was actually going to be. However, I don't know the actual ticket capacity that both theme parks are really and truly using. So when my sister or her boyfriend say, oh, they hit capacity, or, oh, they're sold out with all of their tickets, they're going to hit capacity, I'm like, what's the capacity? Because the normal capacity is like a lot more than what was actually there. Like way more. So I was expecting, oh man, we're going to be like, this is going to be interesting. Okay. And then I get there and I'm like, I can actually physically breathe. I can move and swing my arms fully extended out and I don't hit anybody. We're good, you know? And like I said earlier, like both theme parks, whenever you're standing in line for either a restaurant or for a store, because they have it like marked off even for stores and restaurants. Like they don't let you in unless your X amount of people have come out, so then you can actually go in. And they did the same thing over at Disney Springs too, which is like their outdoor shopping mall too. So it was really, really nice. And then when you're standing in line, like again, definitely like marked a little over 6 feet. Some of them were maybe right at 6 feet, but I feel like for like the more popular ones, they had it spaced out a little bit further. And some people were paying attention, some people weren't. Me and my sister were definitely paying attention because, yeah, she knew I had to come back here. I knew I had to come back here, so I was like, hey, hold up, back off of me, little kid, you know, like, back up. I'm like, I don't know what germs you have. I'm just kidding. Seriously kidding, but it was a much needed and worth it trip for even during these times.
Yep.
You know, like it was not as I don't want to say necessarily spectacular or great, because it really was, but it wasn't as crowded as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as, I guess, popular as I thought it was going to be. And I think that's only because I was expecting what their normal capacity is, you know? And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my stars, we're going to have like 100,000 people in here. You know, or like over 100,000. I don't remember what their capacity really and truly is. But I was like, okay. And then also at Disney World, they have like hopper passes. So, and that could have been like where a lot of the sold out tickets were too. Because we had a hopper pass. Or like we did a hopper one for Magic Kingdom and then Epcot. So we knew what to hit. We knew where to go, you know, and we really had a really great time. It was so much fun. And it was very safe, you know, or it felt really, really safe. And we had obviously our hand sanitizers. We had our hand wipes. They had hand sanitizer stations like everywhere. And at Universal, before you could even get on the ride, the people would like squirt your hand with hand sanitizer. So like you had to have it on and blah, 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 blah. Even though it smelled terrible, it was still really nice and like just reassuring, you know, like how serious they really are taking this to stay open.
Yeah, which is good. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. All right, that's good stuff. Good.
We had fun.
You needed it. Yeah,
it was a great trip.
You needed to recharge a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. So you're ready for the home stretch of the season now. So
I am though. I'm ready for us. I was excited to get back. I even told my sister, like this morning whenever I landed finally in Wichita, I was like, as much as I hated leaving you guys, I've never been so happy to be back in Wichita. I really am I was like, okay, that was a great time break. It didn't seem like it was long, but for as much stuff as we did, it was a really long time, but it was a much needed break. And I'm glad that I'm just glad to be back here. It's less hot here. It's less humid at the moment. And I'm like, I like this. I'm chilling right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, and now I get to go back into the groove of getting back into my regular routine. You know, and I'm like, okay, and now I can be with my 2 dogs instead of their 2 dogs. You know, I'm like, I'm happy. I'm excited.
Yep.
It's been a great time, but I'm very, very glad to be back and start working again. You have no idea. I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back. Yeah. missed you all week, but
I'm sure you did.
We got through everything.
Yes.
We did. Yeah. No, we're all good now. So I know you don't have a devotion today, really, since you're just not coming back. But I am doing a devotion that I wanted to read real quick. Just gonna read a verse from it, and it's kind of talks about what we're talking about kind of relaxing, getting away from things, and just kind of getting out of the routine a little bit. And the devotion's called Breaking Busy, Find Peace and Purpose. And the verse last night that I read that really just applies for it is Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 through 30.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. It says, "Come to me, all you who are laboring and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy, my burden is light." So, this time of year for us, and we've talked about how busy we've been, and I don't think we're going to have a busy weekend like we've had in the last 2 weekends, but there's still some busy times left. But I think it's important for us all to, even if it's not physically, just mentally kind of get away from everything, kind of find the Lord, read our Bible, just kind of tune out a little bit from everything, and to kind of keep our priorities in straight. And because if we are so busy where we're not, we're missing our time with the Lord, then it can really become a distraction and become a detriment to what we need to do. So that's not God's purpose. God's purpose for us to work, and His purpose is for us to thrive. But at the same time, we still got to take time for ourselves and relax and kind of recharge and do things kind of like that. So.
Well, and this actually reminds me, while I was in Florida, so my sister and her boyfriend took the puppy to the vet. I wouldn't say necessarily early in the morning, but kind of early in the morning. So, I stayed behind, and I ended up just going for a walk, and it was really, really nice to kind of have that to myself as well. Not that, I wasn't relaxed with them, but I had my headphones in, I went for a long walk, and honestly, whenever I go on a walk, I actually do personally like to listen to Christian music, like the today's Christian radio, not the old gospel stuff. No, I like the fun stuff.
Yeah,
now, it gets you going. But and it was very calming and relaxing, and it was just another thing that I needed to do to say, okay, I'm ready. And this was at the end of my trip, so it was another reassuring thing that's I'm ready to go home. I feel God's presence here, and I feel so relaxed, and it's been kind of not necessarily an overwhelming, but yes, overwhelming time, because we were just at 2 different theme parks for the past 2 days in a row, and then now we finally have a time to settle down, be relaxed right before I have to leave the very next day to get on a super, super early flight. Yay. But and it was just really nice, and it was another relaxation thing that I was like, okay, I didn't necessarily stray away, but yes, for the past 3 days I kind of strayed away from God a little bit because I was overwhelmed. I was a little busy, if that makes any sense. But
for sure.
And it was nice to have that time to myself to reflect and to just feel God's presence all over again. It was very nice and very relaxing.
Very good. If we don't slow down, it's hard to.
That's true.
It's hard for God to work through us and for us to feel His presence. If we're just constantly distracted and constantly working and constantly busy, we got to take time to just. Jesus said, "My burden is light." We have to accept it, though. We have to actually, turn it over to Him. We can't just do it all ourselves and just continually stay busy and preoccupied and focus on everything else. We got to take time for Him too. That's good. That's good. All right, so real quick, the NCAA tournament starts today.
Oh yeah, it does.
March Madness. It actually started last night with the first 4 playing games. Next week we'll talk about our brackets and how that's going, and
I need to make a bracket. I need to make one.
You gotta have your bracket ready, so I can.
Michigan all the way.
We'll go through it together. We'll go through it because I did mine. I did mine actually early, but then Alan Eberwine emailed me. Emailed all of us actually brackets this week. So men's and women's. So I filled out both of them. My sons did too. Matthew, Luke, and Peyton all three filled that one. So you got to see what they're. Peyton's got some interesting picks.
Really?
We'll just say that.
I'm actually not that surprised.
Yeah, we'll just say that. But next week we'll go over our brackets and see how they're doing, give you an update on it. But the tournament has started. No upsets yet. Florida won 75-70 over Virginia Tech. Arkansas had a major scare from Colgate. They were down 14 in the first half.
Wow.
Scored the last, I believe, 17 in the first half to take a 3-point halftime lead. Colgate led again midway through the second half. Then Arkansas pulled away and won by 17. But 14-seeded Colgate gave Arkansas a third seed, all they wanted. But Arkansas did win. Illinois, number 1 seed, had no trouble with Drexel, 78-49. And what's going on right now? Texas Tech, the 6th seed, is winning 58-45 over Utah State. Mm-hmm. And the 15th seed, Oral Roberts, me and Matthew called this from the get-go. We were going to pick Oral Roberts to win the first round. But because they lead the nation in 3-point percentage and they have the nation's leading scorer, we didn't because Ohio State is such a strong 2 seed. Right now, though, 4:02 left in the first half, Oral Roberts is ahead, 29-25. That is a dangerous team in March.
Yeah.
I seen it coming, but I didn't pick them. But I don't
that's
know.
I'm
not saying it's going to hold up, but Oral Roberts
that's going to be
strong.
a close game.
Oral Roberts is up by 4 in Ohio State. They're a tough Cinderella team. And I have a feeling you would not mind seeing Oral Roberts go ahead and knock off Ohio State.
I would not mind. But that's also the Wolverine in me, you know?
I know. That's what I'm saying. You would not mind the CORU. You would not mind the CORU.
Oh, it wouldn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you would not mind seeing ORU pull this off. But Baylor, also the number one seed, is playing Hartford. They're up 3-1 early. Let's just say again, we'll go over our brackets next week. But let's just say Baylor doesn't need to lose for a while in my bracket. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Baylor needs to hang in there, or my bracket's going to be in shreds.
What is WSU at right now?
WSU is.
Or what are they ranked? I don't remember.
WSU is getting ready for next season as of right now.
Oh, what happened?
They were in the tournament in the first 4. They were an 11 seed playing 11 seeded Drake.
Uh-huh.
And they led by 12 in the first half last night. Drake come back, cut up to 1 at halftime. Wichita State again led by 12 in the second half. Drake goes on a big run, takes the lead. They're up by 1.
And this happened all last night?
Yes. Wichita State fouled down 1 with like 8 seconds left, I believe, or a little less than that, about 5 seconds.
No.
Drake misses the first free throw, so Wichita State gets it back. They dribble inside. They don't call timeout. They got a timeout. They don't call timeout.
Oh, no.
And they shoot from outside the 3-point line, but, it was pretty far out. But it was a good look, and it hit the rim, bounced off.
Oh,
Drake
no.
wins 53-52 over Wichita State last night.
Wow.
And knocks out Wichita State.
What a game.
And what makes it even more intriguing is Wichita State was in the Missouri Valley until just a few years ago, until they joined the American Athletic Conference, where they ruled the Valley. Wichita State was the best Valley team, and Drake was just kind of an afterthought. Now Drake comes back to the Valley and beats Wichita State in the NCAA tournament.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's got to be a tough loss for Wichita State.
I bet. Wow, that stinks.
53-52, a tough loss. Michigan State also lost last night in overtime to UCLA. They led big and lost. And then
again, another team.
Appalachian State lost to Norfolk State by 1 after trailing big. They come back to the lead, but wound up losing by 1. And then Texas Southern beat Mount St. Mary's by 8.
That's good.
The first 4 games, the playing games, are basically toss-ups.
Yeah.
For the most part, they're basically equal seeds.
Yeah.
I lost all 4 of them last night.
Nice.
So I thought that better not be how this tournament's going to go. This is going to be, but so far so good. I'm doing pretty well today so far. But last night I lost all 4. But what really hurt, the only thing that really hurt me was I had Michigan State actually beating BYU in the next round and going to the final 32. Well, they lost, so I'm guaranteed to lose the next game now. Yeah. The other one I had Wichita State losing the next game. The other 2 I did too. So I didn't lose much there, but I lost Michigan State. So
you can never count on the Sparties. That's
you
the
realize
thing.
sometimes you can't.
But you can't. Okay, as much as I do love Michigan Wolverines too, obviously you can't count on them all the time either, considering they just lost to Illinois.
Well, they lost pretty big to Illinois. But no, the problem Michigan's facing, and I do, again, we'll go over our brackets next week, but Michigan is losing a very key contributor. Isaiah Livers is out.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to be out the entire tournament unless they go really far.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do have Michigan advancing pretty deep in the tournament, but I don't have them winning it. But I have them advancing pretty deep.
I think they will get pretty far.
But that's going to be a tough loss.
Yeah.
I would have had them in the Final Four if not for that loss.
Yeah.
Because they've looked really well. I had them. I've been pretty high on them, but losing
Well, they were
Isaiah Livers,
undefeated for a while. And
yeah,
then,
I had them going. I still have them going pretty far, but I don't have them in the Final Four.
They've only lost actually 2 legit games.
Yeah, Illinois is a very good team. They're very solid. As is Ohio State, but they're, as we said, they are up against it right now. Very, very gamed Oral Roberts team.
Yeah.
And that leads the nation in 3-point percentage. They have the nation's leading scorer.
Let's go.
This was going to be a tough matchup for somebody, and Ohio State's drew it. So they'll probably wind up winning, but this is not going to be an easy game like you expect a 15-2 seed to be. ORU is a really, really good 15 seed. In fact, I think they're underseeded, but that's just me.
Hey, but you know what? Sometimes being underseeded can be an advantage.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can use that to your advantage.
It can be.
Depending on who you're playing against, obviously, first round and stuff. But
so next week we go over our brackets. We're going to go exactly how we're doing. We'll see who we pick to win the championship, and by next week we'll be getting ready for the Sweet 16. We'll be going over it and let everybody know how we're doing. Let us know how you're doing as well. We all entered, I think a lot of us did, in the Allen's intramural contest, so we'll see how we're doing on that. So, any final thoughts, Morgan? Are you good? No.
I'm good for right now.
You good?
I'm chilling.
All right, that's good. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so that's going to do it for us today. It's really, really good to be back, though. It's been 3 weeks since we've done one. We missed 2 weeks because of everything going on here on campus, but it all went good and smooth. So we're back today. We'll have our regular version. This is a little bit short, not much, but a little bit shorter. But next week we'll have our full-blown, full-length version starting next week again. So we'll be excited for that. So. Again, tomorrow, volleyball senior day, 1, 3, and 5. Men's soccer senior day at 3:30. Women's soccer also at 6 versus Sterling. St. Mary's and Tabor is here for volleyball. We'll see you out there. Tickets are still available on our website, friendsathletics.com. If you cannot join us in person, be sure to check us out online, live stream portal.stretchinternet.com/friends. It's also on our website. All right, Morgan, I have no idea who prayed last, so
I have no idea either.
I'll pray us out today.
That's fine.
And you can take it next week, and we'll just get back on track. So
sounds good to me.
All right, let's pray. Lord, we're thankful for today. We're thankful for the beautiful weather you've given us today. We're thankful for all your blessings upon our campus. We're thankful for Morgan, her safe trip to Florida and back, and bringing her back safely. We're thankful for just everything that you've done for us. We're thankful for this university and what its mission stands for. We ask a special blessing upon our staff and student athletes, coaches, our entire campus community. We're thankful for how much you have guided us through this pandemic and just continue to lead us. These are uncharted waters, but you've never abandoned us through this whole thing. You've always been with us, and we're so thankful for that we're prayerfully nearing the end of this and heading back to normal. And we just ask that you use our work to bring people closer to you and keep protective hand upon us always. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right, we will talk to you next week. Have a great weekend.